Hello, this is Blaine. We're going to go over the making of the Daz Halloween scene. We're going to go through this quickly. First of all, I loaded the Genesis figure with the patrol texture, and from there we did the shaping. We added a little bit of goblin, a little bit more of the zombie because we want it to look more like a zombie, and we wanted the scale to be smaller, so we added the basic child, and a little bit of the hag just to add a little bit of variety, and you can see each of those morph settings there. Then we want to go in and start loading the background, which is the Hunter's Moon. So we load that into the scene. There's some prerequisites for that. You want to make sure you have the right products for that. And then we wanted to just rotate that scene just a little bit. We want the moon in a little bit different location, so we're just spinning that around, rotating it. Now we want to move the zombie out of the way, just using translate there. And then we want to go in and find the Haunted House 2010. This comes in fairly large, so we want to scale it down. Make sure it's selected, do the overall scale it down to where we want, and then we want to scale up the Hunter's Moon. And once again, we also want to rotate that around to make sure that the moon is where we want it. Alright, so once again we're going to move the Genesis figure, the zombie, out into the front yard of this haunted house. Now we want to go and start loading up some trees that actually come with the haunted house. These are under the props, and we're going to load a series of those for the yard. So we load them in, move them around. We're just using the universal manipulator inside the viewport to get these where we want. So we're going to throw in a couple more trees here. Obviously you can tell we've got this speeded up a little bit, but to save you time going through it. Alright, and then one more tree. We'll throw that in the front yard on that left side of the viewport. So there we go. Now we want to go in and load the skeleton. So we're using the V4, Victoria 4 skeleton, and we'll select her and move her into the front yard as well. Pull it out a little bit further from the front porch, and select the Genesis figure and pull it out next to the skeleton. Alright, now we want to set up some spotlights, some lighting for this scene. So what I like to do is actually rotate where I want the light to come from. And then I go to the Light and Camera tab, create a new light, a new spotlight. I'm applying the active viewport, and adjust. You can see as you adjust the spread angle that will affect actually what you see in the viewport. I'm going to add a little bit of warmth to this color and apply shadows using the ray trace shadows. Adjusting a little bit with the softness and the shadow settings there, so shadow bias. Now I want to rotate the scene around and add a distant light. This is going to light kind of the house, the trees and everything, give it a little bit of a cool, almost a violet color to it, which will add a little bit of background light to these figures in this animation. And I want to zoom in and actually put a spotlight on the moon and the clouds around it. So I add a spotlight to the active viewport, and you'll see that now the moon is lit, and we can start going back to the figures. So we're going to move the skeleton up, make sure it's standing on the ground, and also we want to turn off the helper handles, and that's just a setting in the content itself. Now we want to move to the animation portion of it. You'll notice that as you select a figure, and you hold over these animation blocks, you can actually see the figure do the animation. Here the toes are going through the ground and we want to adjust those, so you hit this little high heel shoe icon and adjust to the angle that you want. Here I've created a camera, and as I create the camera and then move the viewport around, it actually adds a keyframe. So I move to a new section on the timeline, move the camera where I want it. The last setting of that camera is actually set up in the viewport. So kind of a nice feature. You just move to where you want the next camera to keyframe, zoom in, rotate it, do what you need to get that variety. Then we can play that back. You can see that work. You know, we're just dragging and dropping these blocks that are down at the bottom up and assigning those to each figure that's in the scene. Very simple. Now we're going to move to rendering. We're going to select the movie. Just going to do a quick little screen render in here, just a drag and drop render to make sure that things are looking okay. The moon looks good, the lighting in the house looks good. So we're going to save this out to an AVI file and render. This is going to take multiple hours. My little laptop, it took about a day and a half to render the frames that I needed to create the video. So good luck in creating this, and hopefully you can have success in creating your own animations.